The Mario Kart series has long been a must-own game on every Nintendo platform since the Super NES. The Switch, however, so far haven't got its own copy, but a re-release of Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U. We've been seeing quite a few re-releases from the Wii U, thanks to the Switch's popularity compared to the low number of Wii U's sold. More than 8 million people bought Mario Kart on the Wii U. That's almost 2 out of 3 of all of us who bought the platform, and it's by far the best-selling game on the Wii U. It is, without a doubt, an essential purchase. But what if you are one of those 8 million people that already bought the game? Is it worth buying it again on the Switch, or should we rather wait for Mario Kart 9? To compare the two games, I'm going to play them side by side for you to see. For the most part, I'm going to keep my mouth shut so that you can focus on the gameplay. There's a few differences I will point out, but mostly I'll let the games do the talking for themselves. The game ran natively at 720p at 60 frames per second on the Wii U. That dropped down to about 30 frames per second if you were playing 2-player. And while it features almost no anti-aliasing, making the lines quite jaggy, overall it is by far one of the best looking games on the Wii U. On the Switch, the resolution has been upped to 1080p when running docked, while going back to 720p in handheld or tabletop mode, and this is because the tabletop screen is limited to 720p. In handheld mode, though, even at 720p, the game looks absolutely fantastic on that screen. So while the game looks slightly cleaner and slightly more tweaked on the Switch, which comes from the bump in resolution and tweaks to the game, in general, Mario Kart 8 on the Switch looks exactly the same as on the Wii U. So, what else do you get? 29 characters was included in the first game, with 6 added in DLC for a total of 35 characters, plus the ability to play as your Mii. Deluxe features 6 additional characters, for a total of 41, and of course you can still play as Mii. Probably the coolest addition to the character roster are the Inklings from Splatoon. Stats of the characters have been tweaked somewhat to make for more variety in gameplay. As for the cars, there are lots in both. Tracks. Mario Kart 8 was released with 32 tracks, and with an additional 16 later added as DLC. Deluxe features all 48. The tracks are for all intents and purposes identical. The balloon popping mode from the Wii U is back, but there are now 4 additional modes, making probably the weakest part of the old game much better. You now have Bomb and Blast, Renegade Roundup, Coin Runners and Shine Thief joining balloon popping, with 8 more battle maps to play. As for other differences, the most obvious gameplay-wise is that you now have dual item slots and therefore can keep 2 items in your inventory at one time. In practice, I found that this doesn't actually make that big a difference to the game. An obvious difference you'll notice immediately on the Switch is that the game map is now shown on screen, while on the Wii this was of course on the gamepad controller. So, is this game worth it? Well, you can now play on the go. For me, this alone makes it worth the price of admission. If you like multiplayer, the popularity of the Switch makes it actually likely that you'll find people online to play. If you still play on your Wii U and you have DLC and you don't really play on the go, then there's very little need to upgrade. 2 games are essentially identical. If battle mode is your thing though, then a definite must. All in all, Mario Kart was a great game on the Wii U and is a great game on the Switch. If in doubt, yes, you probably want it. This will actually tide us over quite nicely until we get Mario Kart 9 proper on the Switch. Finally, I get my own back on one of the blue shins.